That was my conscious Tantra love partner. And she said, you have a conscious Tantra love partner? And he said, yes, I do. Get with it. And she said, no, I'm not getting with it. I want a divorce. I don't want a conscious Tantra love partner. I want a divorce. And he said, fine. You can have a divorce if you want. But if you have a divorce, you can't have the lifetime all-season pass at the Wellsprings. You can't have the premium gold membership at the Ashland Film Festival. You can't have the charge account on the Sharper Image catalog online. You can't have the spa pedicure at the Blue Giraffe Weekly. And you certainly can't have the eco-friendly vacation home in the Bahamas. But if you don't want that, you can have a divorce. Well, she was very quiet. And I was kind of embarrassed. I was sitting next to them and thinking, oh God, this is really gonna blow up. I think I better get out of here. But she was very, very quiet for a while. And then suddenly, the door opened again, and this time in came a man who apparently was the man of the couple's business partner, and on his arm was a beautiful young buxom redhead. And they came over and they said hello, and they walked on, and the wife said to her husband, who was that with Bill? And he said, that was Bill's conscious Tantra love partner. And she was quiet again for a while, and then she said, ours is prettier. True story in Ashland. I go to a lot of Ashland restaurants and I hear a lot of stuff. Our next presenter, roasting the Ashland scene, is Jeff Golden. Jeff Golden created, hosts, and produces the PBS weekly series Immense Possibilities. And after 4 decades of trying to figure out Ashland, he thinks he's close. Please welcome Jeff Golden. Here he comes.
Okay, the rabbi just told me to have a good time, and I always do what the rabbi tells me to do. Yeah. Well, thank you. This is fun. I like the community aspect of this. I like how everyone has a job to do. My job now is to warm you up for a second-grade set from David and Lisa, and your job is to look and sound exactly like that guy in the next couple minutes. Okay. So it has been a quiet week in Ashland, my hometown. There on the edge of the crotch between the Cascade and Siskiyou Mountains. Down there on the main street there at the movie theater, they decided to extend this film called Vaxxed. Some of you see Vaxxed there. The mayor was talking a little earlier about how big vaccinations are here. And it's not really a big surprise that they decided to extend this film, since our town is known internationally for 3 things: a great Shakespeare festival, and crystals, and being really wimpy about needles. But you know, it's not like a core principle here to avoid vaccinating your kids at all costs. The principle here that we live by is acceptance and tolerance of other people's views. Live and let live. Now, if you really looked at this and have decided that on balance it's best to vaccinate your children, you should go ahead and vaccinate them. And if you come down on the other side of this, well then don't stick them. It's really up to you. And along with that is a deep respect for people who don't share our point of view. And that's really the point that those knuckle draggers up in Medford or Dreadford or Methford or whatever it is we're calling them this week, they don't get that at all. They don't get the highly conscious modeling we're doing for them here. Do you know what they call us up there? Do you know how they? Anybody know what they call Ashland? No. Yeah, they call it the People's Republic of Ashland. Can you believe that? Now, I don't want to be too sensitive about this. I shouldn't make a big deal out of it, but, it just, that is exactly what's wrong with this country, that kind of closeness to other people's beliefs, that kind of misinterpretation of where people are coming from. It really keeps us from understanding each other. So I can't help myself. I have to straighten the record just one last time. We are not the People's Republic of Ashland. We are the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics of Ashland. And if those folks don't start getting it straight, they are going to Gulag White City. Now, since the topic somehow turned to politics here, I wanted to mention something that's coming up on Monday that you may not have heard about. There was talk, you may have heard talk about how Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump might debate each other before the California primary. Well, that's not happening. And instead, we are bringing them up to Ashland on Monday for kind of a triathlon death match. They'll be here Monday morning, and we're going to put them both in the biggest SUVs we can find and see who can legally park at the plaza first. And when they're done with that, they'll get out, they'll get on oversized skateboards, and they'll roll down to A Street and turn right again on 4th Street, and then hang the skateboards up at Noble Coffee, where they will get in line and wait for a white chocolate caramel Mucho Mundo chai in line. And they have to, while they're doing it, they will tweet all the bumper stickers that they saw on their way. And when they get served their chai, they have to take it without a lid and get on unicycles. And then they will pedal from there up to the post office. We'll see who can keep their chai in the cup the longest. There at the post office, they're going to get in line to buy a first-class stamp, not at that big machine, but at the counter that has one sleepy postal worker and 3 closed windows. And the one who can keep from strangling a postal worker or someone else in line the longest gets to be President of the United States. Makes way more sense than the way we've been doing it. People have said that we are so evolved and conscious and interesting here in this town that they really should make a television show about us to show the world. And of course, they have. They did change the name so we wouldn't get plagued by too many adoring tourists. But Portlandia, you've seen Portlandia? It's really Ashland. It's really about Ashland. And you may have seen, you remember the episode where the couple is eating and they want to order free-range chicken, and they end up traveling out into the country 100 miles to the ranch where the chicken was raised to make sure that it had a full and fulfilling life before it made it to their plate. Do you remember that one? Well, some people thought that was a little exaggerated, and maybe in Portland it is, but here. I was walking up Oak Street the day before yesterday with my dog, Mona. We were on our way to an appointment for her up at the plaza when we passed a car parked on the street that had the Blue Giraffe Spa logo on the door. And I sort of walked on the sidewalk right past it, and then Mona kind of lunges, and I see she's headed for 3 deer and just a little patch of lawn nearby. And you know how you usually, when you see deer here in town, imagine that, deer in Ashland, you see deer, and if you come anywhere close, they look really edgy and nervous and like they're ready to bolt at any second. Not these deer. They stood there with their eyes kind of glazy and their tongue kind of hanging out of their mouth. It looked like they were going to fall asleep standing up. And then I saw why, because at the feet of these 3 deer were 3 young women giving them a hoof massage. Now, I was amazed. My jaw dropped. But my dog, Mona, It is all she could talk about when we got to her astrologers a few minutes later for her annual review. Yeah, amazing. So that is the news from Ashland, where all the women are multitasking, all the men are trying to remember their Enneagram number, and all the children are thinking about running away from home. Yeah. Thank you.
Great job. Really good.
Thank you, Jeff Golden. And to finish us up tonight, we're lucky to have David and Lisa Koch back. But before they come up, I want to tell you that tomorrow night, David and Lisa are doing a concert here, just the two of them. It's going to be fantastic. Right here. And in it, there'll be guest star Rabbi Pipik. Moshe Pipik, who is going to do a joke-off with Sister Mary Agnes Lebia, the nun. And if you are a local, how many of you are locals? If you go on Brown Paper Tickets to get tickets for tomorrow night and you put in the code FAM, as in family, you get a big discount, like $10 a ticket. So please do that, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night. And please welcome again, where'd they go? Oh, I didn't even recognize them. David and Lisa Koch, or whoever they are now.
Good evening and welcome. I am Brother Canaan with 4 A's. And this is my sister Edamame.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us to the joyous celebration of Ashland here at the Harbor.
Very good pronunciation, sister.
Thank you.
Although we are not part of your Jewish religion, we are founders of our own religion that originated right here in Southern Oregon.
In a small tent on the Green Springs.
Yes. The holy house of the Seventh-day Ashlandist.
An offshoot of Latter-day Siskiyouism.
Yes. Yes, there we were, living in our small tent.
Making sap candles in the shape of small woodland creatures. Our marmot candles were very good sellers.
And then one night, as we sat there shivering in our tent.
Because Canaan forgot to buy more propane.
Sister, please, blame get you nowhere, let it go.
I almost lost 2 toes to frostbite.
Edamame.
Whoosh, it's gone.
As I was saying, that night we had a vision.
Well, actually, you had the vision because there wasn't enough peyote for both of us.
In that vision, the spirit of Angus Bomer came to me and said, forget the candles, start a church or a nonprofit theater. Both are great tax loopholes.
And so we did. We started a church because theater is way too risky.
Oh, yes. We borrowed many traditions from other religions, and made them our own.
Yes. Like the Catholic Church, we have our sacred gluten-free Fridays.
We have a unique combination of love thy neighbor and a Jewish bris where we actually circumcise a neighbor.
It's catching on.
It's little risky.
And most importantly, our Holy Communion, which is, of course, a puck's donut and a cup of the blessed Lithia water. There is a place that I go when I'm down in the dumps. There is a place that I go